Everybody knows the store Toys R Us, right? You go in there, it's a nice little toy store. You go, you can grab some toys. You look at that sexy ass giraffe mascot they got, and you just you inhale that scent that they got going through the hallway corridors. What the fuck is that? Bleach, maybe? I don't know, bitch. Irrelevant. Anyway, Toys R Us. You go in there, and the toys are us, right? You walk in there, and you're like, that's a toy R for us, right? So you take the toys, you purchase toys. You're like, wow, that's a great toy. You go home and play with it a little. Maybe you throw it out 18 years down the line. You look at that. You have a mental breakdown in your attic, crying about why the days can be better. You put your head in a noose, and then you try and jump off the stool. It breaks. You live to see another day. Anyway, I go to Babies R Us, and I'm like, hey, where are the babies at? I want to buy a baby. They're like, what, sir? You can't just come in here and buy a baby. False advertising. I can go into Toys R Us and I can get a toy, but I can't go to Babies R Us and get a baby. What do you call that? Because I call that a lie. So I walk down the aisles and I find this little kid looking at the toys all by himself. And I'm like, scoop. And I just take this little thing and I drive him home, put it in the basement, get a little shackle chains, whatever. I give him one of those little pacifiers, like, blah, blah, blah. He starts sucking on that, whatever, right? I go back to the store and I'm like, hey, here's my receipt. Take the baby back. I don't want it. All of a sudden, I'm getting surrounded by cops because of the false advertising. And I'm like, listen, officers, they lied to me. I thought this baby was for purchase. And while I did shoplift, that's not the point here. You need to take them down. Anyway, the entire FBI comes raiding my home. They find all of the toys that I used to lure little kids in, and that's why I know so much about Toys R Us. But again, Babies R Us is a scam, and I don't like scams. So I go to Babies R Us, and I'm like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a bunch of bombs, right? I'm going to get a bunch of bombs. I'm going to put little strings on them, so whenever you pull it, it's going to pull the pin on the grenade. The babies are going to explode. When the babies explode, the mother's going to be like, oh my god, what's wrong with your store? And sue them. Babies R Us is going to go down the drain. When the stores are abandoned, I'm going to go find the homeless people who are now living in there. I'm going to impregnate them. Then I'm going to take the babies, make my own Babies R Us since the brand is no longer a thing and that's not copyright. And I will sell babies myself and it will not be false advertising. So if you want babies, give me like 2 years.